good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Teresa Melito-Conners, also known as Dr. MC, of Dr. MC's Self-Care Cabaret, and I'm so glad you're here during this Facebook Live session, or perhaps watching it later on the replay on this sunny Tuesday afternoon in June. So let's see. In case anybody's wondering why I do that little hold in the beginning, it is a little awkward, I know, but there's a delay. Once I hit the go live button, it actually takes about 30 to 40 seconds before you can actually see me. So I don't want to start talking right away because then you'll miss it. But I know it's a little goofy on the replay that you just see me sitting there wondering what I'm doing. But anyway, here we are. So let's get started. I can see I got a few folks on. I have a pretty full agenda for you today. We're going to talk about the origins of self-care. We're going to talk about, I'm going to lead you through a relaxation for anxiety exercise. We're going to talk about self-care for children. I'm going to do a card pull. So we got lots to plan and lots to get through. So to start, I do want to just mention that things are very difficult right now in our society. We are watching a lot of difficult conversations take place. Some of this can be confusing. There's conflicting reports happening. So I do want to say that I encourage you all to do your own reading and research about systemic racism and racism in America. These are unfortunately very real issues, and they are deeply rooted in our culture, and we need to listen to the folks that are trying to get us to listen to them, our persons of color, our Black friends and family. We need to listen to these voices. We need to amplify these voices, and we need to support these voices as best we can. People are hurting, and this has to stop. We can't just request change. We need to demand change. I do not profess to be an expert in this area, but I would encourage you to listen, do your own research. If you're confused or you don't understand this, or you're having a hard time believing what you're hearing, do your own research. A good place to start would be to just read an article by Peggy McIntosh called Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack. It's a great article and pretty quick read. If you want to go deeper into that, reading books such as White Fragility, Waking Up White. There's several other books you can read. If that's not your thing, you can watch things. Anna Deavere Smith has done tremendous work. Twilight Los Angeles is, groundbreaking, and there's lots and lots of stuff. So I'm not an expert, but I have over the years learned to recognize my own white privilege, and I have worked with many persons of color, and I've supported these endeavors, and I'd be happy to share information with you. If you're looking for resources, reach out to me. I'd be happy to have a private conversation with you. It doesn't have to happen online. I'd rather it didn't. But we need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and having these conversations. So that's just my little take on that. We're not going to go too far into it right now during this session, because I want to remind you that when we care for ourselves, we can actually care more for others. So by taking care of yourself, by practicing your own self-care, protecting your energy, we're going to be better warriors and allies and advocates for all the causes we care so much about, but especially right now for Black Lives Matter. So thank you for that for listening to that. And I am going to talk a little bit about the origins of self-care, because believe it or not, it's not what you think it is. Self-care, the term that we actually know it as today, was a political rally cry. So it felt timely to share that information with you. But we're going to trace it back a little bit further than that. So we can actually see glimmers of self-care and the importance of kind of caring for the self, even though it wasn't called self-care per se, but back 5,000 years ago in India, with the earliest yoga practitioners, they were starting to care for themselves and recognizing the importance of the mind-body connection and practicing good self-care. As we further trace it through history, we see glimmers of the same kind of notion of caring for the self. We see that through the medieval times, during the Renaissance, and also with the ancient Greeks. Aristotle described an action or doing as a pathway to becoming. So again, they didn't necessarily call it self-care, but they had the conceptual realization that if we take care of ourselves, that's a really good thing, and it will be better to take care of others. Psychologists throughout history have grappled kind of with the definition of the self and what that means. Also, and then we get into like the medical field in like 1959 with Florence Nightingale, who you may recall learning about her in school. And she started talking really about self-care even back then in 1859, but it was really her definition was more about like physical self-care in terms of like hygiene and that kind of stuff. And although that is definitely a component of self-care, it doesn't quite grasp all the domains and aspects of it. So then that brings us to 1988 with African-American lesbian activist and author Audre Lorde. And she said the following words: "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." I'm going to read that again. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. And she said those words as is a rally cry and a stance against an oppressive culture and a reminder that everyone is worthy of care. Somewhere along the way, after Audre Lorde spoke those words in 1988, the word got co-opted to be this image of self-care, which if we think about, like when we think about self-care, what's the first thing that comes to mind? It's likely some variation of a wealthy white woman with, the cucumbers on her eyes in a plush bathrobe using overpriced bath products. That is not self-care. That is not what Audre Lorde was talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. Self-care does not have to cost money, and it is for everyone. And again, we put our own oxygen masks on first, we take care of ourselves first, and then we get to work and we help others. So that's my introduction on the origin of self-care. And I do just want to call out Tyrone. I love you too, and you are very welcome. Tyrone was a student, the high school that I worked at when I worked for the METCO program. If you're in Massachusetts and you don't know what the METCO program is, there's something you can also research. So as the origins of self-care, so again, here we are in 2020, many years after Audre Lorde said those words, and we are still hearing political rally cries for everyone, and we need to care for ourselves so we can better care for others. Okay, next, I want to share with you how excited I am that people seem to be kind of really taking the message of self-care seriously, and I'm noticing more and more opportunities for children to practice self-care, and I just think that's really cool, so I want to call it out. And yes, I did purchase a Barbie because why not? But Barbie now has Breathe With Me Barbie. How cool is that? She does also come in different skin tones, so you do not have to purchase this one. This was the one that was available. But what she does is you can have your feelings and you can express feelings. You can also, she has guided meditations. She encourages you to breathe. If you push her little necklace here. To teach kids to practice self-care, to access their breathing, teach them the importance of breathing. I think that is so cool. So I couldn't resist. I'm 37 and I was like, I need Breathe With Me Barbie. So here we are. Amazon is a terrible thing. Also, other books, doesn't just have to be Barbie. But I mentioned this book a couple of weeks ago, the Breathing Book. This is new by Dr. Chris Willard and his wife. Lots of really great exercises for kids to do, quick and easy to engage them. Teaching kids to regulate their emotions and recognize their stress response and know the things that they need to do to make themselves feel good, to keep their emotions in check, to just feel good is never going to be a bad thing. So we definitely want to encourage more opportunities and more things for kids. And I would say, although Mattel is making money off of Breathe With Me Barbie, this one doesn't bother me as much, and I don't think it falls into McMindfulness because it is actually teaching children to practice better self-care. Whereas some of the other examples that I give when I get frustrated with big business kind of using self-care to sell things. I mean, it's the difference between using Breathe With Me Barbie and, saving 17% off of a cardigan or something on sale at another big business. So anyway, can I post these books on my website? Sure, of course I can. So let's see, what else are we going to talk about today? Oh, I have another resource for you. I have a whole table set up here for show and tell, but this is somebody, and actually this kind of has a dual purpose because this young lady, Jessamine Stanley, is a person of color. So I am amplifying her voice, and I am amplifying her as a really inspirational person. Not only is she a person of color, but she lives in a larger body, and she is breaking boundaries and all barriers with her body and what her body can do, and not letting her size limit her in any way. So if you think that your body cannot do yoga, you're too big, you're not flexible, you're too tall, you're too short, whatever it is, Jessamine Stanley will also support what I tell you in that every body can do yoga. And if you follow her on Instagram, it just is amazing. She can bend herself into a pretzel just as good as any other smaller body I've ever seen. And it's pretty cool. So I recommend following her for some inspiration and just ideas for yoga. Also, you don't have to bend yourself into a pretzel to feel the benefits of yoga. You don't have to get on the floor. If getting on the floor is not your thing, you don't have to do that. There are modifications you can do. There are props you can use to support your practice. And there are also many yoga practices and poses you can do sitting in a chair. And when you do that, you still get the benefits. But it might be a little easier on your body. Maybe that's where you start, and maybe then you can build yourself up to a more traditional practice on a mat and getting on the floor. But you don't have to. And I promise you will still experience the benefits. So, also, I wanted to share with you a quick exercise. My cousin has been teaching my mom and I private yoga classes via Zoom during this shutdown. And a couple of the things that she has us do, and I think are really great, is just some wrist exercises, some wrist stretches. Especially now where we're so much in front of a computer and we're constantly typing and scrolling and whatnot, our hands can get really tight. So all you do, just clasp your hands together and you just roll your wrists around. And you want to do this maybe 5 times or so. And then you want to go in the other direction. And it's going to feel really awkward. And that's okay. Just do it. Want to make sure we're keeping those muscles loose and limber. Then you want to take your hands and you want to push your palms forward. So you're getting a nice stretch on the underside of your forearm. Then I like to take my hands and then unclasp them, make fists, and kind of pull them forward. But you want to tuck the fist in, and that gives you a really nice stretch right along here. Another thing I like to do is shake out my hands. And that actually relieves tension. Plus, if you wear jingly jewelry, you get to make a little sound too, which can be fun. So, when we get to the relieving anxiety exercise that I'm going to lead you through, it does talk about actually shaking out tension. So that's a very good thing to do. Quick and easy. You can do it anywhere. Costs no money. Another thing I want to mention while we're talking about wrists and hands, we really need to get to the point where we're just listening to our bodies. Like, we may have aches and pains and different things that we experience, but we don't necessarily take the time to listen to our body and figure out what is causing it. As we were doing those hand stretches, I started thinking of a recent experience I had back several months ago. I noticed that I was getting this intense pain in my pinky finger. It radiated down kind of my hand and my wrist area. And I thought, this is weird. Oh my God, I must have carpal tunnel. I'm going to have to start doing PT. I'm going to need to wear the brace. This is it. It's over. I'm going to need surgery. Plus, we're our own worst enemies. We start spiraling. So I started thinking about that though and paying attention and listening to when that was happening. It wasn't all the time. So what I came to discover was I was constantly holding my cell phone and resting it on my pinky finger. So I realized that wasn't a good thing. So I thought maybe I'll buy one of those silly pop sockets that the kids have and see if that helps. And guess what? No more pain. I use the pop socket. I hold my phone a completely different way. I can still scroll and do what I need to do. And I'm not having that pain anymore. But if I had not taken the time to figure out what was causing the issue, I may have, I don't know, bought myself a brace. I probably would have gone to the doctor. They may not have known what was causing it. They would have had me maybe go to PT. It would have been a whole thing. Take a prescription of some sort or a pain reliever. Who knows? But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is listen to your body. We need to figure out the underlying cause of what we are experiencing. What is causing the dis-ease? So that is that. We'll probably talk more about that because I did recently purchase Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life and You Can Heal Your Body. And she was she is a pioneer in that field. And along with the work of Deepak Chopra, where you can learn about people that have managed to cure themselves of tremendous diseases, things far more serious than a little pinky pain. But really by listening to their body and practicing really, really good self-care. So let's see, what else did I want to talk to you about? Origin of self-care. All right, cool. I'm going to now lead you through this relieving anxiety relaxation script. So this is not, it's not a guided meditation like we've done, but so it's a little bit different. But it does also come from Inner Health Studio, my friends at Inner Health Studio, sharing great content for us. So this is more of like a relaxation exercise. I'm going to lead you through it. You're going to experience it. Then we're going to distill it down to kind of the 4 steps for you to use in the future. And then this is definitely something you can access later or reflect back on and remember these steps and do this at your convenience anytime we're starting to feel anxiety, because there's a lot of anxiety over what is going on between the pandemic and everything else. So some of the key symptoms of anxiety include tight, tense muscles, shallow, rapid breathing, worried thoughts, and shaking. With this anxiety relaxation script, you will target each of those areas to reduce anxiety and induce a relaxation response. First, focus on breathing. Calm breathing is key to being calm and relaxed. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Now exhale through your mouth, as if you are blowing out a candle. Blow out all the air. As you inhale, focus on slowing down your breathing into a calm rhythm. Exhale fully, releasing all the air. Continue to breathe slowly and calmly. Now that you are getting the oxygen you need, realize that your only job right now is to keep yourself as comfortable as possible while this feeling passes. Fighting against the anxiety only makes it stronger. So right now, accept that you are feeling anxious. Let's focus on calming your thoughts to relieve anxiety. Repeat the following phrases to yourself or out loud. I am feeling anxious right now, but I am okay. This feeling will pass and no harm will come to me. I am safe even though I feel frightened. I will soon be calm even though I am experiencing anxiety right now. I will get through this. I am making myself as comfortable as possible while I wait for the anxiety to decrease. I can help myself to become gradually more calm and relaxed until this feeling passes. Continue to give yourself calming messages. As you continue to breathe slowly in and exhale fully, and as you continue to repeat calming thoughts, now we can address any shaking or trembling you are experiencing. When you experience anxiety, your body is in fight or flight mode. Your heart is pumping quickly so that oxygen can be delivered for your muscles to allow you to use those muscles to escape from danger. There is no real danger right now. So the adrenaline is flowing through your body but not being used. Your muscles are so ready for action that they are trembling. You can help this trembling to decrease by physically shaking out tension. Imagine that you are shaking water off of your hands to dry them. Shake your hands. Allow your hands and wrists to be limp as you shake your hands and forearms quickly back and forth. Imagine drops of water flying off of your fingertips. Imagine your tension draining out your fingertips and being shaken away. Now stop and allow your hands to be still. Notice how much more relaxed your hands feel. They may even feel pleasantly tingly. Continue with even breathing and calm thoughts. Inhale and think, I am becoming more and more calm. Exhale and think, I am feeling more and more relaxed. Inhale, calm. Exhale, relaxed. The last area to focus on now to relieve anxiety is your tense muscles. Your muscles become painful, tired, and cramped as a result of stress and anxiety. You can help your muscles relax now by first allowing your lower jaw to drop so your teeth are not touching. Let your jaw be relaxed and loose. Now lower your shoulders. Let your shoulders be relaxed and loose. You may even want to move your arms or shoulders in some circles, forward and back. And now let your shoulders become limp as you increase the distance between your shoulders and your ears. Raise your arms above your head and stretch. And now release the muscles as you gently lower your arms to the side. Turn your head to the left, back to center, and to the right. Look down, look straight ahead, and look up. bring your head to a relaxed, neutral position. Straighten your back into correct posture. Keep your back upright, but maintain the natural curve of your spine. You can continue to move, stretch, and relax to allow your muscles to become less tense. In summary, the 4 steps for quick relaxation to relieve anxiety are: number 1, breathe. Remember to breathe slowly and exhale fully. Number 2, calm your thoughts. Remind yourself that anxiety will pass. Number 3, physically shake out the tension. Number 4, relax your muscles, especially your jaw and upper back. Thank you for letting me lead you through that. You can now open your eyes if you have them closed and bring your attention back to me and your surroundings. So that's a little something we can keep in mind when we start to feel our anxiety increase and tension in our body, along with all the other tools we've shared over the weeks. This is another tool for your toolkit that may help you practice better self-care. So, last but certainly not least, I have a card pull for you today. I used a different deck. This is Cheryl Richardson's self-care cards. Cheryl Richardson is a local author from Newburyport, Massachusetts, and a self-care guru, and she's pretty cool. So if you are looking for somebody else to listen to aside from me, you can tune into Cheryl's stuff as well. So let's see. We have 3 cards for today, so the typical 1, 2, 3. So I want you to think about what number is kind of calling to you right now. So the first card, if you were thinking of a number 1, is nature. Take a walk. Let the beauty of nature feed your soul. If you were thinking number 2, it is pleasure. The art is really beautiful on these. I like this lady with the kitty. And the card says, do something just for fun. Pleasure is one of life's essential nutrients. And if you were thinking of number 3, then your card is rest. Rest and relax. Release guilt and make your needs a top priority. So again, thank you for joining me today. And I wanted to say it again, if you have questions, concerns, or you need a safe person to talk to about some of the issues that we are experiencing today in our, these are not new issues, but they're coming to the forefront and we are making progress. So if you have questions or you're confused, I will hold space for you and I'd be happy to point you in the right direction for other resources that you can access. Lots of things are available for you to learn more about these issues. And put your own oxygen mask on first and let's get to work. Thank you.